Islam. Whatever we're doing does not cross the boundary of Islam. If that is the case, then 50% of the conditions have been fulfilled. The second condition is that you're doing it with the intention to please your Lord. Now, obviously, you will think, well, as a lawyer, you're just doing it because you want to get your bills paid, or you want to be, successful in whatever you're doing. But what we can do, the reason why you might be doing it is because you want to do an hard day's work, an honest day's work, and as a result, you've chosen that profession, and you can inspire other individuals to, rather than actually sitting with their hands tied to their chest, actually doing something. So you could be inspiring people in different ways, and that's why since I've gone through that journey, I'm involved in a number of mentoring schemes, including notably Mosaic, founded by His Highness Prince of Wales, which is about inspiring our young individuals, because and each one of you is such a great ambassador that you can inspire other individuals, because I think especially the youth, what they want everything to be on the plate, everything to be spoon-fed, whereas each one of you can relate. You've got beautiful examples and beautiful experiences that you've gone through, a really hard work that you've gone through to make it to where you are. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala enable us all to be of some benefit to our community. And when I say our community, it means the community that we live in, not just the Muslim community. And that means that we actually work together on establishing ourselves. Like, so today, in terms of sponsors, take the example of Ummah, financial planning. Now, each one of us, is in need of that financial planning. Now, rather than actually, doing it in the way and feeling guilty, there are ethical sources, ethical, schemes that we can use to our benefit, but as well as not having that guilt that perhaps what I'm doing is wrong, because each one of us has shortcomings and weaknesses in what we do. But what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala judges us on is our intentions, rather than actually the end results, our endeavors, whether I have done to the best of my abilities. And once we do that, inshallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bless us in that. Exactly. You can ask questions now.
So thank you, Qari Asim. That was absolutely fantastic, and I think it really emphasises Qari Asim's approach to communities and giving back to the broader community, and how us as individuals and as professionals have a duty not just to the Muslim community but to the broader community in terms of giving back either our skills or experiences. And sometimes it's just about being compassionate to others and recognizing that it's the sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam that he cared for people, and we need to be able to be those role models, not just in terms of in our local area, but to the youth that are coming up in our areas. Now, before I take and start talking and not give anybody else a chance, I'm going to actually ask the sponsors to come up and say a few words about themselves. So, for the Islamic Bank of Britain, I'd like Ismail Jassat to come and just say a few words.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of Allah, the most merciful and the most kind. May the peace, mercy and blessings of Allah be upon you all. Dear respected guests, Jazakallah khair to you all for your time today. My name is Ismail Jassat and I'm the Community Business Development Manager for Islamic Bank of Britain, and I'm honored to be speaking here tonight. Before I go into my speech, I'd just like to reiterate what Qari Asim said. It was a brilliant speech, and just really goes to show how, as young professionals, we can excel in both the Islamic side and the worldly side. So thanks a lot for that. For those of you who may not know, IBB is the UK's only wholly fully Sharia compliant retail bank in the UK. Formed in 2004, IBB now provides the largest range of Sharia compliant retail financial products in the UK. These include Sharia compliant savings products which pay profit not interest. So a customer can deposit their savings with IBB and the bank will become the agent. IBB invests the customer's cash deposit in a Sharia compliant manner and manages it closely to generate a halal return. Similarly, IBB offers Sharia compliant home and buy-to-let purchase plans which are based on joint ownership and not based on interest. They are unlike a conventional mortgage where the customer will borrow a certain amount from the bank and it is repaid with interest. Instead, the customer and the bank will purchase the property jointly. The monthly payment will increase the customer's share in the property and includes a rental payment that the bank owns. Rental payment for IBB home purchase plans are mid-range of the market and offer good value with low arrangement fees, no early redemption charges, and availability of finance with a deposit as low as 20%. By developing these and other groundbreaking Sharia compliant products, IBB has developed the enviable reputation of being the pioneer of British Sharia compliant retail banking. It has attracted over 50,000 customers with its products and services, which include business banking, investment services, online banking, telephone banking, as well as having a network of branches and agencies across the UK. We have also received independent recognition from the Ethical Consumer magazine, and also because of the way we act as an ethical bank and the way we do our business. So what makes IBB different? The absence of interest is the most recognizable feature of Islamic banking. However, what many do not realize is that Islamic finance offers a consumer a way of banking that is genuinely different. At IBB, we have branded this as banking you can believe in. Essentially, the whole premise of Sharia finance is to provide a way for society to conduct the economic affairs in a fair, ethical and transparent way, as well as being a socially responsible manner. As I say, at the highest level, this means that Islamic banking operates without interest or riba. In Islam, interest is considered effortless, income which relies on an uneven relationship between the lender and the borrower. This imbalance can possibly lead to a range of negative social and economic outcomes, which is why Islam has simply forbidden it. Similarly, gambling, speculation and excessive risk, practices which underpin many of the instruments used in the conventional finance sector, are also forbidden in Islam. If we just cast our minds back to the credit crunch crisis of 2008, toxic assets, the root cause of the crisis, were found in products that are high in risk, speculative and far removed from the actual asset. The negative impact of these products resulted in the worst financial crisis since the Great Depression of the 1930s. Islam actually anticipated this over 1400 years ago and outlined a different way for society to conduct its financial affairs based on trade. As the Quran states in Surah Baqarah, وَأَحَلَّ اللَّهُ الْبَيْعَ وَحَرَّمَ الرِّبَى. Allah has permitted trading and forbidden riba. Surah Baqarah verse 275 to 276. So with Islamic banking and IBB, the principles of Islamic commercial law are used to develop financial products. These are applied in a specific way according to the product and its overall objective. This may be to help a customer to purchase a home, or to buy a rented property, or to help her generate a halal return for the hard-earned savings. So whilst they deliver a similar outcome to conventional finance products, Islamic products are very different. Another fundamental distinguishing feature is that in addition to trade, Islamic finance is founded on principle of partnership and risk and reward sharing. As is required in the Sharia, the customer and IBB work together as partners towards a mutually profitable end that is always fair and transparent for all parties. Now, how many conventional banks can generally make this claim? At IBB we can, because the bank's activities are independently monitored by our Sharia Supervisory Committee, and we also have a dedicated Sharia Compliance Officer who ensures that all our products and services are 100% halal and Sharia compliant. So as an Islamic bank, IBB has a dual level of regulation to ensure it maintains a high standard of moral, ethical and industry behavior. At the same time, IBB is authorized and regulated by the Financial Services Authority, and we're also part of the Financial Services Compensation Scheme. Much has been written and discussed about the conventional banking sector. and the virtues of ethical banking. At IBB, we simply offer banking based on strong morals and partnership approach. It's a different way of banking, but it's a way of banking that's fundamentally good, whatever your faith, beliefs or values. So, may Allah continue to guide us all towards the best of success. Jazakallah khair to you, and please feel free to approach myself or my colleagues who are from the Manchester branch for further information on our products and services. Thank you very much again for listening, and we really hope to speak with many more of you over the course of the evening. We're also doing a prize draw to win an iPad, so please feel free to fill out some forms towards the back and read through the leaflets that we've given. Jazakallah khair, assalamu alaikum.
Please don't enter because I want to win that iPad. Okay, the next speaker we've got is Shabab Gulfraz from Ummah Financial Planning. So, welcome. Please keep it short.
Assalamu alaikum. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My name is Shabab Gulfraz. I'm the business development consultant as well as a financial advisor for Ummah Financial Planning. I quickly want to run through who we are, why we were launched, what makes us different, and what we actually do as financial planners for our customers. We're a fee-based IFA business based in Leeds, 100% focused on Muslim professionals, business owners and companies based in 100% focused on Muslim businesses, professionals and companies. We founded the Garden Daniel Chartered Accountants Group, which has a history stemming back about 100 odd years, with head office in York and Leeds. The reason why we were launched was that we felt that the UK Muslims are dramatically underserved by the financial services industry in the UK. There's a lack of information that's provided to Muslims in the UK in terms of what are their options that are available to them within, say, a Sharia or an ethical or a whole of market perspective. And as well as that, because we felt that the financial affairs within the community are very weak. As Muslims, my father's age group came in the UK possibly in 1965, 1970s. They did really well setting up the infrastructure for us, in the sense that they developed the supply of halal meat for us, which we take for granted now. They also worked very hard to set up mosques, etc. for us, which again is one of those areas which we've done very well as Muslims to be able to promote ourselves within the community. But one area where we've actually been very weak is that the financial services sector has not recognised that we have diverse needs, as Ismail's gone through. In terms of, we are prohibited from investing in certain areas of financial services, and this is not made known to most individuals when they go and see their financial advisor in a conventional bank. So what makes us different? Well, for starters, Ummah is 100% focused on Muslim clients. Our core reason to be set up was that we felt that Muslims were underserved and that we could make a difference within the community by bringing together products and services that would actually help them in the future. We've actually blended a significant amount of expertise from the Muslim community, such as people like Qari Asim, who actually helped set up Ummah Financial Planning and actually guided us in the right areas, as well as non-Muslim expertise from our sector as well. And in terms of our commitment and ambition is to ensure that we can actually provide a service for Muslim businesses and individuals to be able to get the right advice which they feel is right for them. So within the audience, I generally get asked when I go and see clients, especially clients within, say, 40 to 60 year age group bracket, what is financial planning? Because nobody's ever told them that. So I just thought I'll put a question to you guys in the audience, because you've heard 20-30 minutes of speakers now. So it's your turn to tell us what's your experiences and what do you feel is financial planning? So do I get anybody to tell us? Setting budgets. That's one aspect, yes. Anybody else? Yes, that's right. Last person. Anything else to feedback to me? Or us? Well, it's in essence the definition of financial planning is to achieve a set objective by going through a set of financial goals. One area where I feel as individuals we are very successful in what we do. As Muslims, we are very much focused in any aspect of our lives that we actually want to look into. One area we haven't looked into, which just to give you a quick example, I went to see a client last week and I asked him the same question as yourselves, what is financial planning? And he said, well, looking after my business and ensuring that it grows. That's his concept, but the area that he lacked over the years was ensuring that his finances were up to scratch and were able to make his business grow. And one key factor that had affected him over the past was inflation. He commented about how whenever he visits Pakistan or whenever he goes abroad, he sees things going up in price. So I said, well, where's your money then? And he goes, I sat in a current account because I just think everything is haram in this country. There's nothing I can do which is going to make it grow. So it's been sat in a current account. And as a financial advisor, my response was, well, you do realize that you probably lost about 35% in value for every single decade that your money has been sat in that current account. And suddenly it dawned upon him that there were options out there that he could have done which may have helped him to be able to grow his nest, which was his pensions and his investments further for his children. So what do? Well, we cover all aspects of financial planning. As financial advisors, we were set up for the Muslim community, so not only do we work with individuals, we've started working with charities, we've started working with trusts, we've started working with Muslim associations and organisations because they require our services to be able to move their services forward. We're actually a fee-based organisation that's independent in nature. It's very rare coming since the new regulations came in force last year to see an independent financial advisor, but we're very proud to ensure that we remain independent, to ensure that we keep the commitment that is required within a very small niche area of Islamic finance, to the stage that it's been 9 months now that we've actually been in existence, but we've actually signed a commercial agreement with a national association to provide financial services to their customer base now, because they recognise the values that we've actually stemmed from, and they recognise that it's a need for their Muslim customers, etc., to be able to get the right advice, which is what we're hoping to achieve and to aspire to. I'm coming to conclusion because I am aware that we are actually running late tonight. I quickly wanted to mention that the Professional Muslim Institute, they've done a brilliant job in terms of organising tonight, in terms of getting everybody together. And I wanted everybody to put their hands together for Javed, because I just feel having spoken to Javed over the last 3-4 weeks to ensure that we get a good turnout, the amount of effort he puts in, the amount of calls I've had personally with Javed and emails to try and ensure that we get a good turnout. He's done it again, and he's the main ambassador for this event, and it's good to know there's people like Javed that can actually get us together in an environment like this where we can actually openly network with each other. So that's it.
Thank you so much. So before we go on to question and answers, probably Javed's going to kill me and all of you that are really hungry. What I want you to do is, anybody here as businesses or individuals that have come to this network for a very specific purpose, if you want to say what your name is, your business, and what particular skills area you're looking for, I'm only looking for a few seconds. Anybody that starts telling me life stories, the mic's going to be taken off them. So anybody here who's come for specific types of expertise or information, if they just say their names, we'll give them the mic, and then at least you know who you're networking with. And you can, but if not, is there anybody that wants to do that? Okay, great stuff. So remember, seconds, okay.
Hi everyone, I've got a sore throat anyway, so I won't take up too much of your time. My name's Nabila, I work for Mosaic. Qari mentioned us this time. Bless, Nazia mentioned us last time. Idris forced you to give me your business cards. We got 2 mentors last time. So inshallah, what I'm planning is hopefully we get more of you. There's quite a lot of my RLG members here today. There's a lot of my mentors here today. So as we were saying, we're looking for people who can inspire our young people, mainly predominantly from Muslim communities. We've got professionals like yourself who come from Muslim backgrounds, and they support our young people in primary schools, secondary schools and in prisons to help raise their aspirations. So do get in touch. I have got business cards this time, I didn't last time. So do get in touch with me if you want, and there is quite a lot of us around, so do stop and try and speak to people. Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, it's going to be a trick trying to get this. Pass the money.
You're really in the mic. I've got quite a loud voice. Sorry. My name's Ravina Halim. I'm a law lecturer at the University of Huddersfield. Okay. I'm actually here on behalf of my son, who's opening up a business called Private Property Exchange. The whole purpose of that business is to look at buying and selling, renting properties using the Islamic finance systems, which is why I'm actually here today, because I wanted to learn about this Islamic finance principles. So if anybody's actually interested in that sort of concept, I'd really like to hear from you, please.
And before we go on to question and answers, anybody that's here for the first time, if you haven't already completed a registration form downstairs which gives you contact details to be on the mailing list, please do so we can all keep in touch with you. Thank you. Now, question and answers. Has anybody got any questions for any of our speakers? Wow. Okay, person right at the back.
For the brother Qari.
Right.
Mashallah, I understand that he's a commercial property lawyer. Can anybody hear me?
No, they can't.
Sorry everybody. Before you were saying that you're a commercial property lawyer, and I understand mashallah that you're also an imam. One of the difficulties I've had is, I'm also a solicitor, is that when you're advising a client in relation to a interest-based product, we all know that riba is haram, and in the same breath you're advising a client. How do you get on about that?
Another question for Qari Asim. You're probably in a privileged position to answer this question as a lawyer and as an imam, but do you see a role for Sharia law within the UK?
I thought my questions aren't prepared for Qari, controversial. Okay, Qari.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Both of those questions are very interesting and very relevant actually. Obviously, the brother who asked firstly, taking the question of commercial property lawyer as well as being an imam, how does that work? I don't know how many of you are here as commercial property lawyers, but obviously within commercial property, if you're working within a large firm, there are different parts of that department: retail, refinancing and financing and development. And depending on what part of the work that you do. So if, for instance, if you're doing it retail, now your retail client, like taking an example of let's say Anam restaurant, they are taking another premises somewhere else, and they want to occupy that those premises. Now I'm not advising them on the actual finances of how they've got the finances to pay rent. If they were developing probably another new premises, they might have had finances, but most of the time when actually people who are taking up leases, they haven't got the finances. Or for the last few years I worked for health sector mainly, and that health sector, a particular I don't want to mention the name, but a particular company that had more than 700 care homes up and down the country. That's gone down unfortunately now. It wasn't due to me, and so it was mainly just a care home based system. So currently at the moment I'm working for major airlines, etc., and they are just occupying desks in in various airports and stuff. So it really depends what part of the work that you're doing, and that's why that's the reason that I chose carefully. A lot of people advise me, why don't I do immigration law or criminal law? I have enough of that hassle as an imam from people. Imagine if I just combine the two, it'll be just, my life will be wiped out. And in terms of taking the other question, which is very, very relevant, is there room for Sharia law? I think we all, perhaps Muslims as well as people of other faiths, need to understand what Sharia is. Sharia itself also means law. Sharia is basically the Islamic laws, and those Islamic laws are already taking place. For instance, there's a law how to do wuzu. There's a law how to dress. There's a law how to get married. And all of those things, like personal, private laws affecting our personal lives, we already are going about doing our businesses according to those laws. Now, in terms of whether the understanding is that the Sharia law is going to overtake the British law, that neither should be our aim, and nor it is the way it works. Even where in Muslim countries where Islam was the dominant, in terms of dominant, and the law of the state was Islam, there was always, because Islam provides for other faiths to be living according to their own norms and according to their own laws within that affect their own lives. So, and linking it to, let's say, the Muslim patrol activities that are taking place in London, they're completely against the spirit of Islam. Because the spirit of Islam is having all-inclusive, compassionate agenda. And that is how our ancestors, who were from most of us in this room perhaps are from the Indian subcontinent, this is how we came to declare, became Muslims and declared that there is no one worthy of worship except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It was their all-inclusive, compassionate agenda.
Any other questions? I think that says that the event is coming to a close, so I want to first of all say thank you to our speakers and for all of you for listening. And what we'll be doing now is going downstairs. Dinner will be served via a buffet, so you'll all be queuing up. Don't run too fast, because those at the end of the queue will have to wait a long time. But no, in terms of the food, it's served downstairs. When you go down the stairs, it's on the right hand side. So thank you very much for attending, and please do take the time to network as well as eating. Thank you.